Turkey paid these dudes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we doing. That's how we fighting, bro. That's so important. Fighters walking into they're not walking into the ring. They're driving to the ring. Where fighters get penalized for doing some BS like that.
Fight Canelo. There's no chance he beats a Canelo. And now everyone's giving him a chance.
And then rolled under and then put them with that left hook. It never took Inoue off his game. The roar of the crowd, it was there. Hey, what's good, y'all? It's Gabe Rosado along with Abner. Welcome to another episode of Mi Gallo.
Yo, I'm trying to wake up, man. I'm still trying to wake up from this weekend.
Yeah, man. I feel, you know what, man? I feel a little slumped too, man. I mean, it's the after effect of what we just went through this weekend, bro.
It's hitting me right now.
It's the after effect, man. But look, man, let's get to it, right? It was supposed to be a historical time in boxing, bro.
3 main events in one card.
Yeah. And New York, Times Square.
Yeah.
It wasn't it. It wasn't it, bro.
It fooled everyone.
It wasn't it, man. And you know, it was disappointing, man. And you know, like, you know, I'm thinking that, you know, obviously the atmosphere wasn't right.
Right.
You know, that's so important. Fighters walking into they're not walking into the ring. They're driving to the ring. You can't be warm. So it was so off, bro. And then you felt the energy in the ring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I think they started out by tricking us, the fans, by telling us that there was at Times Square, which it was, but that there was going to be live people there. You know, I'm expecting the whole crowd, like the whole Times Square, like unlocked. It's gonna be
like when they dropped the ball on New
Year's. Yeah, bro, they had that shit locked. Like, you know, they had like this fence that will cover from fans watching from the outside, and they only had about, I want to say, like close to 100 people in the inside. So the atmosphere, the energy was not the same. No. So, you know, I'm not putting that, and I'm not using that as an excuse for those fighters. Trust me, I'm not.
So here's the thing, right? So the atmosphere obviously is important. You know what I mean? Because when you're doing that ring walk, the crowd goes crazy. They're roaring, the electricity, it gets your adrenaline going. You need that. That's important.
Yeah.
But like, at the end of the day, these fighters, they've been talking trash.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hyping it up.
You didn't like the whole card drive that?
No. But I'm saying the fighters, man, they may Turkey pay these dudes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we doing. That's how we fighting, bro. That's the new thing right there. It's like, what is that?
First of all, I'm gonna say with the Haney fight, I'm not even tripping on that fight because we all knew, at least I knew that was how Haney was gonna fight. You get me? Because that's how he usually fights, which is always defensive. You know, and especially coming back, after being beat up by Ryan Garcia the way he was in his last fight. This fight, he was just trying to secure a win. He did not want to risk anything, and he didn't. He just ran throughout the whole fight, and he got the W. It is what it is on that fight. But the other two fights, I mean, I'm not
going to let Haney off the hook. Like that.
Of course you're not.
No. I've never, ever seen Haney fight like that, bro. That wasn't a Haney fight.
It was.
That was PTSD. I'm scared to get knocked out. I'm scared to get clipped.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just run, score, steal points.
Yeah.
Run, steal points. You know what I'm saying? And get the dub. That's exactly what he did, bro. It was horrible. Haney don't care about the fans.
I know you're upset at that.
No, his father don't care about the fans. You know what I mean? His father, he trying to act like Ramirez was in the ambulance and blah, blah, blah. Ramirez was in the ambulance because there was no, when a fight's over, you have to go see the doctor.
All right.
They only had,
get comfortable.
They had the ambulance there for all the fighters.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like Ramirez ain't take a beating. Why do you have to see?
Gabe, these fighters nowadays, they don't care about us fans. They don't. None of them.
No, I wouldn't say.
Not all of them, but there's a high percentage, and especially at the high caliber fighters that they don't know more because they getting this stupid money, crazy money that they just care about the money, bro. Haney, you just said he fought to secure that bag. He said if I gotta win no matter what, if that requires me running the whole entire fight, I'm gonna do that, and he did because he wanted to secure the Ryan Garcia fight.
Okay, so look, then this is what needs to be done. The powers that be, the promoters, Turkey, Haney got to pay for that now. You want to fight? Y'all got Haney Promotions. Do your own shit. Do your own shit. We don't want to order pay-per-view and see that trash. I'm sorry. That was not boxing. That was not boxing.
No, it wasn't.
You know what I mean? Fans are ordering, paying money, pay-per-view, and that's what you're doing. You running. That's not boxing. They don't care about the fans. You have to care about the fans.
I know you
because the fans is why you get the big paydays. So if I'm Turkey, I'm not putting Haney on. If I'm Eddie Hearns, I'm not putting Haney on. Y'all got Haney Promotions. Do your own thing now. You know what I'm saying? Straight up.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
Because you got fighters like Boots. That's a dog. You got fighters like Inoue, dog. And these dudes is making money, but just because they're making money, they still fight. They still put on great performances.
I feel like we're acting like we've never seen this before. Let's not forget, Gabe. It started with Al Heyman when he started paying crazy money, and then moved on to Eddie Hearns, Matchroom, throwing stupid money, and now it's Turkey Al Sheikh throwing you money. You get me?
I don't think it's a money thing though, bro. I don't think it's bro. This is prize fighting. We supposed to make. You're supposed to make money.
Yeah.
And when you're on that level, everybody's really making money. When you think about it.
Yeah, but not you money like these guys are making right now.
I feel you, man, but.
Because now they're fighting. This is why I feel like they're fighting for the money, because they know that if they win, like for obvious reasons, you win, you get more money, obviously.
Yeah.
And these guys are trying to secure that bag, and where it's falling to that, Gabe, where they don't care about the fans. They just want to secure a bag and get out of there at a young age.
Okay.
You know, they're not trying to make legacy. They're not trying to make the biggest fights. They're not trying to go out as one of the fighters that fought everyone and gave us, tremendous fights. Unfortunately. Yeah, I have not seen that from any of these fighters.
Yeah, but I think you, obviously from this event, you can see who wants it and who is just about the bread. Right now, Haney already showed he's about the money. X him out. We ain't wasting our time with him no more. The only dude that really showed up was Teofimo. And Broly. So Teo showed up. Unfortunately, it takes two to tangle. And Barboza, for whatever reason, you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
for whatever reason, didn't pull the trigger.
The reason
there was an opportunity in the fifth round.
There was
when he clipped Teo, and he cut him underneath the left eye, and Teo was on the rope.
Yeah,
you gotta take a chance.
You do.
And unfortunately,
I know
he did
when
not.
we fighters, we've been there, and we know that, and we can say this. You get me? But I feel like it's easier said than done, especially being in front of a Teofimo Lopez, a guy. He always had Barboza thinking, bro. He always had him guessing. He was always feinting, moving his hands, moving his feet. Like, you almost always had him guessing or overthinking that every time that the Barboza tried to lunge in or try to throw a combination, Teo had a response for that.
Yeah.
And we saw that. And I think it fell into that type of rhythm of fight where Bosa was like, bro, I can't risk it. And if I do, I'm going to get clipped. Unfortunately.
Well,
not everybody's like you, bro. I know you're a dog. And I know in my times I was like that too. I was like, I don't give a F. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I'm just going out. I don't care if I'm getting hit.
Yeah.
You can't doubt yourself. You can't overthink. You just got to go out there and let the punches go.
Yeah. And look, man, I think Teo, he did his thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Teo.
You got to give him props, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I give him his props. I came at him a couple times, but it's all love, man. He put on a good performance, and Teo really showed that he's a fighter. And if Barboza would have engaged with him more, Teo was with it.
Yeah.
Teo cut, and with his eyes banged up, was the one coming forward. So I really like what Teo did. But then, going back to the Haney, it was just horrible. Ramirez was slow, but Ramirez really couldn't do much, because when you got a guy on a bicycle like that that's just doing one shot at a time, what can Ramirez do? You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like Ramirez didn't show up. Ramirez wanted to fight, but you can't hit what ain't there. This dude's
I'm gonna get hate on this, and I know I'm gonna get it from you, Gabe. No, trust. I feel like that Haney fought the fight that he was supposed to fight. You know, I know. See, I knew you were gonna say.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, and I'm gonna get it on the
Oh,
comments. I'm ready, and I'm
hell no,
ready for
bro.
it. I'm ready for it because
Nah.
this is a guy that got beaten bad, bro, in his last fight.
Okay.
So I was expecting that fighter, you know, fighter to be too cautious. You know, he was that's his style as it is. He's really defensive. Offensively, he's decent, but he's not the best, you know, volume and all that. But he's a great defensive fighter. But this fight, yeah, he just overran. I know he was just trying not to get hit, trying to secure the win, and that's what he did, and that's what I was expecting. I'm not applauding him. I'm not. That's not the style that I like. But he did what he had to do against, you know, Ramirez. And Ramirez, not even if Haney would have exchanged punches with him, I don't even think that Ramirez would have beat him, bro.
Yeah.
And I mean,
yeah.
Ramirez is a good friend. He's a great guy. I love him, man.
No.
Garcia, RGBA team, you know, I love him to death. But I think the styles make fights. And even if Haney wanted to fight like he usually fights, he still would have gotten the W. And now, so going back to he just wanted to secure a win. And that's what he did.
Okay. You can't fight like that.
Oh,
not on pay-per-view, not on that kind of event, not when you're making that kind of money, not when you was the undisputed champion. You cannot fight like that, bro. You can, when you was the undisputed.
Yeah.
You have to let your hands go. It's a fight. You can't run. Honestly, the running was so bad that the referee should have took a point. I swear, the referee should have gave him a warning. Hey.
Yeah, you can't actually.
You need to engage.
Yeah, fans that don't know. Yeah, you can
engage.
Yeah, they
and again, you give them the second warning, the third warning, point.
Mm-hmm.
It's a point deduction. Or, bro, there has to be like, come on, there has to be like a fine.
Yeah,
there has to be a fine, something, bro, where fighters get penalized for doing some BS like that because you're not performing.
There's never been a rule like that, huh? Where you're supposed to throw X amount of punches per round.
Well, I don't think they need to put a number on how many.
Yeah, no, but I mean, no less than this.
Yeah,
amount.
but what I'm saying
is, penalized if you threw 5 punches a round, bro.
Yeah,
you're getting fined.
It was horrible, bro. It was horrible. So I think he should have been penalized, and they should have took a point away. So no, I don't think no one's in line to go watch Haney fight again. Even if it's the Ryan rematch.
They will.
I don't even want to see that rematch.
They're gonna go watch it because they know that that's not Haney, bro. I know he's not the most entertaining fighter, and I'm not defending him. Well, maybe I am a little bit.
Bro,
but
nobody ever went to go see Haney fight.
But no, I know. But you're saying if they were to fight again, people are not gonna watch him.
When people saw Haney fight, it was because it was Lomachenko. When people
that's
saw
what
Haney
I'm saying.
it was Kambosos.
He's still gonna fight these fighters, and they're still gonna go watch them. People are still gonna go watch a rematch against Garcia and Haney. Trust me, they will.
Nah, man. Look, bro, I just think it was trash.
It was
horrible. I think it was bad for boxing. Yeah, man. So then, then moving on to the main event, which I thought would steal the show, man. I thought it was gonna be a fire fight. Second round, Rolly doubles up with that hook, catches Ryan, and once Ryan felt Rolly's power, it was like the whole game plan changed.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan wasn't applying pressure; he was on the back foot, and Rolly fought smart. Being strategic, picking the right shots.
You think Ryan was just off that night?
Bro, I don't know, bro.
I think Rolly's got his number.
When I saw Ryan at the media workout, the energy and the vibe that I got off of him was like that he was so focused because you wasn't seeing him acting up, but it was like, you know what I mean? I guess I assessed it the wrong way. Yeah, I did, bro. I thought I confused it for him being so focused. Where in reality, I just think he was off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's
crazy,
what it was.
huh? It's hard to read people.
Yeah.
It's hard to read people.
That's boxing. Boxing's super unpredictable.
And the opposite, when he was, pretending that he was crazy and, posting all these stuff and people thought that he was going to lose his fight against Haney, he showed a whole different version. Mm-hmm. So where I'm getting with this fight is that I think that Rolly has his number.
Yeah.
Rolly's, they sparred before, and we've seen the sparring session, and we saw somewhat of what we saw that night. It was Rolly on top of him. Rolly just being aggressive. Rolly just, beating them to a punch. And it got to a point where Rolly actually looked good in this fight. Let's be real. And Rolly's known to be
a good fighter.
Yeah, no, but Rolly's known to be reckless, just throwing wild punches, not knowing where the punches are coming from. But in this particular fight, he fought really smart. He fought really. He stuck to the game plan, and you could tell the jab, the stick, staying in the outside, waiting for the right moment, the double hook. Ryan Garcia goes linear, going backwards, hands down, and he caught him with that left hook. Broly just fought smart, bro.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rolly. I want to address this. I actually want to. I kind of feel a little bad on this situation, and I hit him up already through text. So on a personal, between me and him, he hit me up. Was like, "Yo, Ab, can you get me some sponsors?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got you, bro." Because you and I, we know some people. Start hitting up people. Yo, you want to sponsor Broly? Nope. You want to sponsor Broly? No. Nobody wanted to sponsor Broly, bro, because they all thought he was gonna lose. I'm like, nah, bro, he's gonna get knocked out. That doesn't look good for my brand. I'm like, bro, I think this is gonna be an interesting fight. No, but I didn't. I ended up not getting a single sponsor for him. He started texting me like, "Yo, champ, you got anything?" I felt so embarrassed, bro, that I didn't even answer back because I was embarrassed that I didn't get him a sponsor. He wins the fight, bro. The first thing I do, I pick up my phone, like, "Yo, champ, I'm so sorry, man. Blah blah blah. I did you wrong, I at least should have hit you back." But I felt embarrassed to tell you that nobody wanted to sponsor you. But you look at you now, you proved the whole world wrong.
Yeah.
And everybody's gonna be on you now. God bless you. Work on that, and God bless you. Keep doing your thing, bro. Because he's a nice kid, Rolly Romero. He's a nice kid. Some people take him as a a jerk sometimes, or a guy that just
he knows,
wild, but
bro, he knows how to box. He knows what he's doing, and like you said, man, he does have Ryan's number. But all right, man. So then we go from New York City to Saudi Arabia. It was crazy.
We got the same thing.
But shout out to Turkey, bro, because he in New York, and then next thing you know, he ringside in Saudi. I mean, I know that man was jet lagged. Crazy.
Oh, or he's got.
I think
he got crazy money, bro. He probably has a little trick, where he teleported.
He flies in the mansion. Real talk. But no, man. Look, so let's start with Munguia.
Okay.
Let's start with Munguia. His first fight with Team Canelo. I did see some difference. I saw he was a little more defensive minded. I like the Munguia that's more aggressive,
more volume,
that's throwing volume, and he was more on the counter tip, more. You know what I mean?
Well, defensively,
it wasn't a bad performance. It just was. I wasn't used to seeing Munguia. I would have loved it. That's how he fought me.
I'm sure.
I'd have loved it. That's how he fought me, bro.
What would have happened?
Oh, bro, I'd have had a field day. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just like, I'm looking at the fight like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw, even though he fought more defensive minded, the fact that I think his offense is his defense.
Right.
And I know they're trying to change him, and it doesn't happen overnight. Change some pieces. But I feel like his offense is his defense, man. And I feel like if he fights someone with quicker hands with that kind of flow, I think he'll get caught a lot more.
I think we saw effects of a guy that was trying to do what he was learning in the gym.
Yeah.
And with that said, I think they taught him to move his head a lot more. Yeah. I saw that really slick, like bobbing, whipping, high guard, going underneath the punches. But they forgot the most important thing: come back with something. You come back with something. But hey, you saw something different. You saw something that he perfected and that he worked on. That's a plus for me. He got the W, and he redeemed himself. And I think he's only gonna get better. I mean, let's not forget, it's only his first fight. It's only his first fight with Team Canelo. You made a face like you don't see him improving or getting better.
Nope.
He's young. He's still young, brother.
I don't. And you know why? 168, no pop. No pop.
I think he has a little bit of pop.
No pop. He didn't have pop at 60. And he didn't have no pop at 60.
Not even a respectable pop where
think
like
about it. No, not even. Because think about it. At 60, he got you out with volume.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't like
he didn't knock people out with one punch. He got you out with volume. Now at 68, now you're switching up a style a little bit. Is one punch at a time. He ain't got no pop.
Yeah. But I think his volume is gonna come back. Like I said, he's working one thing at a time. I think we saw defensively he was good, and now it's about just letting the punches go. Again, he's not known by just one punch KO fighter, and now once he started throwing punches and landing good punches, and he's a great body snatcher. So once he starts landing those body shots, he's gonna start breaking down fighters as well.
Yeah. Do you think that his style? You think he was mimicking Canelo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot. a lot, and
Yeah.
it's part of learning from Canelo, because the Canelo actually, like, we joked about it, him at the gym, and they're like, yo, sit down, let me teach you some moves.
Yeah.
Canelo did take his time and taught him some stuff.
You know what, bro? I like the Munguia that throws a lot of punches, and I think that he just has to work on keeping the hands up and moving the head. But this style right here, bro, I think he gets cooked by a lot of dudes at 68.
68, yeah.
I'll come back from retirement and cook him, bro. I'm telling you, I was looking at that fight like I was mad as hell. Like, damn, that dude threw
boy, you want everyone,
like,
right?
When we fought, he threw like 100 punches around.
Yeah,
there was a high volume. It was a high volume pace. Round and round, and that's what gave me trouble in the fight. His power didn't give me trouble in the fight. It wasn't any of that. What gave me trouble in the fight was the volume. I couldn't match his volume. You got to remember, I think I was 36 at that time. So
that's where you made the mistake. Because I'm thinking right here, why are you trying to match his volume?
Because the thing is this, that it was a fight where I wanted to catch him in between, and he was taking good shots. He got knocked out by Bruno, but before that, Munguia got a granite chin. Munguia takes good shots.
Yeah. So,
the game plan was, in between that volume, catch him in between, and he took the shots well. But that's what gave me trouble. Now, whenever the fight got into the pace of, we're playing chess now, I can get that all day. It was the volume. So I think volume was his best asset. And I think if you take that away from him, you take out a real big, the major
what he's known by
of his arsenal.
And this whole, it can hurt a fighter as well. The fact that he's moving from one trainer to another trainer.
Yeah.
And then he ends up going back with Eric Morales. I think it's been like twice already that he's gone back with him.
Yeah, man.
That hurts a fighter as well. I mean, you can learn from other trainers while, you're making these moves, but at the same time, it's hurting you because you're not sticking to one style now, bro. And I think that's what's happening with Munguia, but I saw some things that I liked, and if he just adds and goes back to throwing more punches, I know 168 is a difficult division right now, but he'll still be there.
No doubt.
He'll give a lot of fighters trouble.
No doubt, man. So congrats to him. He got the dub, man. And then, going on to then the main event, Canelo Scull.
Yeah.
Man, that was my first time watching a Scull fight, bro, and that's my first and my last.
Yeah. I don't think we'll ever see him fight again. Nobody.
You know what made me so mad about that fight?
I picture you at home, bro, just cussing, just throwing shit at the TV, just upset.
Yeah, I saw the fight with Les. I was at Lester's house.
Okay,
shout out to the homie Lester. And bro, what upset me about that fight is, here's the thing. A lot of people aren't happy with that Canelo didn't let his hands go and Canelo didn't cut the ring off. And look, I get it. But you got to remember, we got to put things in perspective. The situation Canelo's in. Canelo's making 80 mil and he's guaranteed 100 mil and he already has the date with Crawford. So Canelo, he don't got to force the fight. You know what I'm saying? He don't gotta force the fight because that would be stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, Canelo was not in the situation that Ramirez was in. Ramirez needed to force the fight because it was similar styles in the fights, right? Ramirez needed to force the fight because, but no, what I'm saying is Ramirez needed to force the fight because that's what he's relying on. He has to win.
Right.
Canelo didn't have to force the fight. He's the A side. He's the guy. He's the man. Scull had to force the fight because win, lose, or draw, if Scull would have put on a better performance and lost, he's still good. Right now, it's like, who's going to fight him now?
Nobody.
Exactly.
Nobody.
So
he killed his career that night.
Yeah, so I pinned that crappy performance on Scull.
Yeah.
100%. 200. Because, bro, I'm going to keep it 100. Me and you, bro, we got it in. But if we're in that situation, are you going to take a chance? Or are you going to take a chance? You got 80 million that you're making in the fight, and you got 100 mil guaranteed in September.
Yeah, no,
and the guy you're fighting is just running. Are you going to take a chance?
I know what you're saying, and yeah, I got to agree with you. But me, personally, if I'm in that situation and I'm fighting there, bro, I don't know if it's just an instinct. I don't know if it's just me as a person fighter. I would try to win the fight no matter what and, throw more punches. But you make 100%, sense. you're there. You're thinking like, why am I gonna risk? Why am I gonna take a risk of getting hit? Why am I gonna throw more when I'm already winning the fight just by pressuring him and securing a fight? For 100 mil, my next one. I get it, but me, I would have thrown a lot more. I know the question was, would you have? Yes, I would. I would have thrown a lot more. I would have let my punches go, and I know that people see it, bro. I think Father Time is catching up to Canelo as well, bro. Yeah. I think Canelo is not the same Canelo that we've seen in the past. Yeah. I think Canelo was not cutting off the ring like you mentioned. He didn't.
That was
why, that was why, bro. You
that one right there is
why
I was. I'm looking at the fight like
how do you not cut off the ring? Yeah. So again, it could just go back to what you're saying. Like, why even bother? I'm gonna win this fight regardless. This guy's not throwing anything. Just secure a win and then move on to the next one. But again, I would have thrown a little bit more. But here's what's happening now. People are upset at the fight, but it kind of helped the Crawford fight. Think about it. With this performance by Canelo, people are like, yo, I can see Crawford beating Canelo now. Is it not true? I got so many messages like, bro, how Canelo fought tonight? There's 100% Crawford beats him. He'll knock him out. He'll drop him. Like,
yeah.
Hey, you got a point now.
You know why? Because you know why? Scull did some things that I know Crawford's going to take, but Crawford's just going to add his flavor to it.
But it's been known, bro. It's been known that boxers give Canelo problems.
Yeah, man. I think Crawford would definitely take more chances, though, because he's game. He
would have to, yeah.
He's a competitor. I don't think Crawford's just doing it for the money. I think Crawford really believes he could beat Canelo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you got to remember, man, Crawford came right behind Floyd. Mm-hmm. So I think a win against Canelo puts Crawford kind of aligns. I'm not saying it makes him Floyd, but it kind of puts him in that conversation of like, damn, what would have happened if Floyd and if Crawford and Floyd fought?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's something that fuels Crawford too. Like, I wanna beat him better than what Floyd did.
I like that. I don't like how the fight ended up being boring, and we didn't see much action. We didn't see a lot of punches thrown in that fight. But I kind of like the fact that it kind of worked out, because now we're seeing and getting more excited for a Crawford Canelo fight, because we saw that version of Canelo's like, oh shoot, wait a minute, before it was like, oh, smaller guy moving up, 3, almost 4 weight classes to fight Canelo. There's no chance he beats a Canelo. And now everyone's giving him a chance.
And then Crawford, not only does he move well, but he switches southpaw and orthodox.
He's a tricky fighter.
Bro, it's going to be see, look. You're convinced.
No,
before you was like this fight.
No,
Crawford's too small.
No, I'm just saying what he can do and what can happen.
All right,
but I'm still convinced that Canelo knocks him out.
All right.
So yeah. Convincing me. No.
But when they did the face-off, Crawford did look bigger.
Canelo's small. He's always been small.
Yeah.
There's no way Crawford beats him.
No.
I think Canelo it was one of those nights. There was no crowd. There was no energy. I had a fight like that. I'm known as a fighter that, pressures a lot, throws a lot.
Yeah.
I fought Guillermo Rigondeaux. We all know Guillermo Rigondeaux. Yeah. Cuban fighter, slick fighter, moves a lot. I fought him in the amateurs in Dominican Republic, Pan American Games. Bro, he ran like what we saw with him.
Crazy, right?
Crazy. It got to a point where I stood in front of the ring. I raised my hands. And I'm like, yo, fight me. You get me? Fight me. And he was just like, nope. And he beat me because he just ran 1 punch, 2 punch. And there's nothing I could have done. I was trying, I was pressuring, but it was just too much moving. I think that's what happened with Canelo. He's just moving too much moving. But we're like, bro, I'm just tired of chasing this guy.
Yeah.
So moving on to a Crawford fight, I'm expecting a really, really good fight, because now we know what can happen.
Yeah, man. The movement is definitely going to give Canelo some trouble, man. But, you kind of balance it out with the movement for Crawford's side, but then the power on Canelo's side. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. So that's going to be it was
Hey, trying to convince me.
No, but it was crazy because it was kind of whack the way, they did the face off and everything like that, but the performance was so whack that it kind of like.
You know what I thought, and we'll probably edit this, I don't care. when His Excellency Terry Galichet said, "Everybody out of the ring." He said it like with the with the tone. I said, "Man, this man is about to sacrifice Scull, bro, for the bad performance."
Yeah, that's funny, bro. Nah, man. Yeah, skew, man. It was horrible, bro.
Man.
Horrible, bro. All right, man. And to close off the weekend, Inoue saved the day.
Thank you, Inoue.
Bro, dude, I've always, you know what I mean, enjoyed Inoue's fights.
Yeah.
But bro, that dude, he's really a star, man. He's a superstar. And that's the difference of all the fights we talked about, right? That Inoue, he lets his hands go and he takes chances. And look, shout out to Cardenas because he created a great angle,
bro,
dropping to his right and then slipping that left hook. You know, that wasn't Inoue making a mistake. That was Cardenas, you know, making a good chess move in that situation.
Seeing that from Luis Neri. Luis Neri dropped him the same way.
That was that was a beautiful move right there by Cardenas, man. He dropped over to the right, rolled under, and then clipped him with that left hook. And man, Inoue was hurt. He went down. You could see it, like his eyes rolled back. He went down. He got up like a G. And what I love is that the next round, he ain't even take his time. He went right to him. That's a star.
That's a superstar.
That's a star, bro.
Yeah, that's a superstar right there. Man. That's a monster.
Yeah.
That's the type of style of fights that we like.
Yep.
And we just praise. And man, we want more of Inoue. You know, I stayed, until he left the ring, and the announcers talking highly of him and saying that the fans have not left. No one left. You know, after a fight is over, everybody starts leaving, but nobody had left until Inoue got out of the ring and made his way into the locker room. And that took a while because he was doing a bunch of interviews. Yeah. But that shows respect. That shows how much fans were just so happy to see him and so grateful that he gave us that type of performance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Inoue is just a whole different breed, bro. Whole different monster. The adjustments he made, the way he was able to recover, the combinations, just the different energy levels of fighting that he gave us in between rounds. You get me? So it was just highly performance.
And you know what I love his attitude in the sense of Cardenas was loading up on that hook. Cardenas was firing. And it never took Inoue off his game. Never. He never intimidated Inoue. He never worried him. Inoue stuck to his plan and kept dropping in. And Cardenas was trying to counter with that big left hook and missing by this much. Yeah. And that's what I love, bro. That's a fighter. That's a fighter.
That's crazy how, boxing, the whole world, turns out to be, because I'm going to be honest with you. I thought that he was going to get overshadowed a little bit by Canelo performance. Before, obviously, I saw Canelo, the New York fight. I'm like, yo, this is the last fight. And then everybody's just going to be talking about Canelo. Everybody's going to be talking about, but guess what? This guy came and saved boxing. This guy came and saved the whole weekend.
Yeah.
People forget those last, that weekend fight, those last two performances. Anyway, bro, that's what everybody's talking about right now.
This fight makes him a bigger star.
Way bigger
because out of all the names we had lined up, the one that rose up top was Inoue.
The little guy, bro. The small weight class guy. Yeah. It's crazy the way he fought. And not only that, how exciting he is. He's so vulnerable. He gets hit, bro. It's not the first time he's been down. That excites you too because he gives you fight. Yeah. He's not scared to get hit. Yeah. And that's what I liked about. I always liked about the old school fighters, that they were always in there to give us good action, no matter what. I'm gonna get knocked down. Guess what? I'm gonna get back up, and I'm still gonna win this fight. Yeah. Make adjustments, and that's what Inoue did.
For sure, man. Inoue, to me, he has like the Black Mamba mentality, Michael Jordan mentality. He's like, he don't just want to beat you. Yeah. He want to take your soul, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that's what we love about Inoue, man. And it's funny when I was watching him in the locker room. He eating a cake.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, interesting, man. If I come back,
a few hours before the fight,
if I come back, you won't see me in the locker room eating cake. Yeah. Like, it worked for Inoue. But look, and then it's just, I pay attention to detail. I pay attention to detail, like what fighters do as they're warming up. And bro, he was stretching for hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think from when the first fight started and the camera would go back to Inoue in the locker room, he's stretching. He was constantly doing things. That when he enters the ring, he doesn't even take time to warm up.
That's his warm up.
At the moment the bell rings, he's firing as if he already got a couple rounds in.
Yeah,
bro, that's very important.
That's crazy.
Sometimes fighters go into the ring stale, dry, and it takes them 2-3 rounds to get going.
Yeah.
Anyway, first round he's on fire.
He's warming up the ligaments. He's warming up the body by just stretching.
Yeah.
When you go run, what do? You just stretch, and then boom, you take off. And you got me?
Yeah.
So this guy, just by stretching his whole body, getting his actual body like ready in that sense, he's a fighter that moves a lot.
Yeah.
So and not only that, I think that, I mean, a lot of Asians, you see that that's what they do a lot, bro. They stretch a lot. They're constantly like moving, that's the way to just, get their.
Did you like the stretch? I wasn't much.
I didn't learn of it, until like pretty much like maybe the last 2 years of my career.
Yeah.
When Luis came in. Well, Luis has always been part of my team, but Luis was like
joints right.
Yeah. Luis used to stretch me a lot, bro.
Yeah.
And I used to hate it.
So important.
Because I was, I used to think that I got a shadow box, bro. I got to get my heart rate up in order for me to be ready, but. No, really, what really got me ready was the stretching.
So important.
And so you won't get injured as well.
It's detail, man. It's detail, and that's what I noticed, man. The small little things that he does that makes him so great. It's the small things that make a big deal in a fight, man. And, after that great performance, another fight potentially for Inoue is Rafael Espinosa.
Yeah. He fought the undercard.
Good performance, man. Dominated. Good body shots, everything, man.
That's crazy, bro. You know how tall he is, right? He's 6'1".
Yeah.
He's a tall fighter for that weight class. I don't know how he does it, but he fights really, he fights at that distance. And when he fights in the inside, he's even, even better. He had really great combinations, the uppercuts, the body shots. I mean, great performance from Rafael Espinosa. Great human being. I don't know if you got to see this, but at the end,
I did.
I think he cut the fighter. You heard his audible bone or something. He was laying there in this locker room. He went into a locker room, bro. He broke down, Rafa.
Yeah, he was crying. He
was crying, man. Man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about this, but and the guy's like, hey, it's boxing. It's okay.
Yeah, man.
But that shows the human side, from the fighter. But his performance was top level.
No, for sure, man. I saw that, man. I saw it on an Instagram clip, him breaking down while his opponent was getting checked by the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And, that just, that's the human side of the sport, right? Where, man, when fighters go through things, broken orbital bone, attached retina, broken ribs and things like that, man, it's like, it's the shit that the fans don't see or the fans don't know. You know what I'm saying? Yo, bro. Yeah, I know. And it's like, it's tough, man. So, but that's a good fight, man. I like to see that. But right now, Inoue he has MJ, and that's a unification bout, man. So that's gonna be a dope.
That's a good
dope
fight,
scrap.
man.
No, for sure, man.
Because I know we hype Inoue, and we should, and we can, and we always will because of his.
Dude.
But bro, he's hittable. Yeah. He's a guy that can go down. We've seen him. He's vulnerable to get hit. And MJ's a good fighter.
Yeah.
And let's not forget MJ. Who trains MJ?
Yeah,
Diaz, bro. Yeah. And Diaz just fought Inoue in this last fight with Cardenas.
So
he kind of learned something from this fight as well.
And Diaz had a good game plan.
Bro, Cardenas was game. Cardenas was giving, some rounds, knocked him down, but then there's some rounds where he trended over and, he caught Inoue.
He was landing that good straight right hand, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he landed a couple good shots. But, you say Inoue gets hit, but he does get hit because he throws so many punches, so he'll get caught in between.
Right.
But, from the outside, it's really hard to hit him.
Okay, as a fighter.
When he's bouncing.
Okay, from the outside, but you as a fighter, how do you prepare for Inoue? You just said the key point. Timing, bro. You time a fighter that, in the right moment, because he throws a lot. He reminds me of a Pacquiao.
Kind of like how Marquez did with Pacquiao.
Exactly. Like a Pacquiao. You wait for him to go in with his little flurry, boom. You gotta be you gotta have that power as well. And MJ has power. MJ's a powerful puncher as well. So I'm looking forward to it.
No, for sure. That's gonna be a good scrap. Like I said, we had Inoue. He saved the day. And I think what we learned from this weekend is that Top Rank put that fight. That fight was in T-Mobile.
Mm-hmm.
It was in T-Mobile in a boxing arena.
Yeah.
Where the ambiance was lit. The electricity, the roar, the crowd, it was there. That's important. experimenting, doing fights at Alcatraz or doing fights in Times Square. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. I think they're talking about possibly doing the next one in where is it in the park in New York. What's that famous park in New York?
Central Park.
Central Park.
No way.
Let's not do it. Let's not do that. Put that in the Garden.
You gotta stop experimenting with boxing like that, man.
Put it in the Barclays Center. And I get it, man, because I get it. You want to add new things, and it's great. I love the creativity. I love that, you want to make boxing this big thing. I get it. But look, man, don't fix what ain't broke.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, what makes the fights is the ambiance and the arena.
I think that would have worked out if they would have not put that fence up. I think if actual fans would have been there, that would have been. That would have created chaos.
Because you know what happens? You know what happens? The fans start to boo, and when the fans start to boo, the fight kind of change. It could switch up.
Yeah, of course. Now we feed off the energy.
Now the fighters have to answer back and actually,
So
get the fans
we need
going.
the fans.
Yeah, man. So come on, man. I'm going to still call it Staples Center, even though they changed the name to Staples Center. I mean, let's do Staples. Let's do T-Mobile. Let's do Madison Square Garden. Let's do the traditional arenas, man. Let's keep it in those where the fans can, that pay their hard-earned money actually can go to the event and see their favorite fighters, man. You got Times Square. The fans had barricades being blocked out. Imagine the people that bought airplane tickets to go to New York, man, and to be disappointed. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad we didn't go.
I had people call me and tell me like, damn, I had to watch the fight at Dave & Buster's. I was in New York. I had to fight I'm like, damn, that's
I know a lot of people that travel didn't watch the fights at the bar. Like, yo, why'd you travel that far to go watch it on TV?
It's crazy.
Stay home.
Yeah, man. So I think experiment gone wrong. Let's not do that no more. And as you can see, Top Rank had a hell of a show at the T-Mobile Arena, and that's boxing right there. Boxing fans.
That saved us. That saved the weekend.
Absolutely.
All right, man. We just finished another episode of Mi Gallo. Talked about the Times Square fight, the Canelo fight, and Inoue. Thank you so much for saving the weekend.
For sure.
Mi Gallo.
For sure, man. And if you got any questions, make sure y'all leave a comment. We'll get back to y'all. We appreciate y'all. Mi Gallo. Let's go.